and allow me to thank the organizer of this Africa Business Conference, which is something very important to really tackle the challenges, but also give good hope on what is working in the continent and how the continent is facing all these challenges and how also we can change the narrative. And I will, in my answer, take the example of Morocco, because today Morocco is a country that is doing quite well in the continent, that is given as example. And as a representative also of the private sector, because I'm part of the private sector organization, there is a real interaction with the public sector, and things have been done on the right way to allow today the Moroccan private sector to invest and to attract foreign direct investment. And I will tackle 6 main points which are key, which for me are key in the role of private sector to really help build the development. The first one, which is very important, is the vision and the ambition. I think it's very important for us to have an horizon, and sometimes that is what is missing in many countries. We know today what is the vision of Morocco for the future. Everybody is focused when you go to Morocco. Everybody will talk to you about 2030 because there is a straightforward plan for 2030, 2040, 2050 in different sectors and for the country. That's very important for the private sector because investment are long term. We need to know where we are going. The second point, which is also key, is how the public sector is helping build the infrastructure. Today, often when we talk about Africa, we say there is logistical issues, transport issues, and all those kind of stuff. Infrastructure is very important. You know, the Tangier port, which is the most important port in Africa, built in 2003, has changed all the landscape of trade in the African continent. And that's very important. It's created opportunities for us to invest in automotive, in all industrial areas, and to really be part of the industrial development of Morocco. So building infrastructure is key. And today, when we talk about decarbonization, green energy, if you don't have state policy to really go green, and we have a very important plan, which is to have a mixed energetic of 52% in the 2030 horizon, to go really green for the decarbonization, it's very important. The third point, which is also key, is all the regulatory framework, streamlined regulatory framework, which give also stability. We know where we are going, and we know what is the plan for the next year, for the future. It's stable regulatory framework. The fourth point, which is also very important, is the public-private partnership. And public-private partnership in different areas. It's the regulatory framework of public-private partnership to allow private sector to invest in infrastructure, but it's also how you collaborate between public sector and private sector. We have a platform which is between our organization, which is the organization of the private sector, with the government, where we meet every month to tackle all challenges and to see how to promote good practices in the public sector to help investment. The fifth point is also key, which is skill development. When I say skill development, you know, we have issues of unemployment. When you look at unemployment in Africa, it's not only a matter of not being at school. Sometimes you have high degrees, people unemployed because the training they have had is not related to the sectors you want to develop in the economy. And that's the role of the states. Even though private sector is investing in, it's also the role of the state. And the last point, which is also important, is how you put in place policies to try to fight against corruption. That means also how you put in place digitalization and try to really take a part of all the areas where there can be bureaucracy and corruption out of the system. So I think these 6 points for me are the main point where, in the example of Morocco, what we are doing with the public sector is key to help development and to help also invest in the economies of Africa.
Thank you so much.